Several nights a week, this Westchester community comes to life with the sound of sweeping brooms and the click of granite stones. It's the county seat, you might say, for one of the Olympics' most unsung heroes, the sport of curling.
We're a cult. It's not a curling sport, it's a curling cult. That wasn't on, was it?
That's Jeff Lessick.
Great shot.
He's the president of the curling club and often plays the position of skip on the team.
Take this out.
But before we go any further, here's a quick look at Curling 101.
Each team will have 4 players, and each one of the players will be responsible for delivering 2 stones. So that's 8 rocks each team. When all 16 rocks are done, you tally up the score. Basically, it is who is closest to the center of the concentric rings. The rings are the house, the center is the button, and the one team that is closest to the button is the team that scores.
This deceptively simple game requires lots of finesse and strategy.
The 4 players in curling are referred to as the lead, who throws the opening 2 rocks. The second throws the second rocks. The vice skip throws the 3rd rocks, and the skip calls the strategy and throws the last 2 rocks. He's sort of like the cleanup batter in baseball. Throwing the last 2 rocks are usually the critical shots of each end, and he is also trying to execute with his last 2 rocks the strategy that he's been leading up to in the first 6.
Those granite rocks weigh 42 pounds and require just the right force to hit the button at the end of the 145-foot sheet of ice. And that's where the sweeping comes in.
The sweeping part of the game is critical. The brushing helps extend the running time of the rock. Sweeping can add another, say, 5 to 12 feet. Critical in a sport that relies on inches.
Unlike a lot of sports, curling is pretty low tech. It doesn't take much to get started.
I'll have my own broom and I'll have my own shoes. For my case, the total investment in equipment in my sport is about $300. Could be less. I just happen to have an expensive pair of shoes.
Or it could be next to nothing.
You can just use a piece of duct tape on one shoe and borrow a broom from the house you're playing in.
The speed of your shoes plays an important role in curling.
The curling shoes are made up of one that grips and one that slides. In my case, I'm right-handed. The right shoe is going to have a rubberized sole so that I could get around without slipping all over the place. The left shoe, when I'm delivering, is a Teflon on the bottom so that I slide more freely.
Ah, delivering. What does that mean?
It's a whole process in which you have to see where the skip is asking for the stone to be delivered. You lift up your hips, you stop, you shift your weight, and then you push out of the hack and release the stone.
And while curling is still a bit under the radar in the States, it's wildly popular in Canada.
The New York area has, say, 3 curling clubs. You know, for a city of a multi-million population, it's unheard of. In Canada, you'll have a town of, say, like Ottawa, that might have 40 clubs.
So with the next Winter Olympics in Vancouver in 2010, gold medal fever has hit the club.
We are playing down at the country club at Brookline to qualify for the Olympics. Our chances are 50-50. If we can beat the defending champions, I think we've got a good shot of at least qualifying for the trials.
The Ardsley Country Club has been in the spotlight recently. They're hosting the Women's Olympic Qualifier, and they have a ladies team competing.
Oh, it's very exciting. It's very exciting, and the nice thing is quite a few of the faces are familiar, and to get a chance to compete against some of these women is a great honor. Some of them are world famous.
Chris Benino sums it up best.
Anybody can be a curler, but to be a good curler, you just got to keep practicing, get good form, get good balance, and you'll have a great time, and maybe get to go to the Olympics.